What a week of football. Holy shit. Man. Upsets, comebacks, unexpected outcomes. Fucking hell. Week 15 didn't hold back this year. Fucking shit. As for my Eagles, still very disappointed that we somehow found a way to lose to a bunch of B-teamers on the fucking Vikings, and you got to move on from that now. There's no use dwelling on it now and pointing out all the flaws and all that shit. And now we got Chicago in a game that was flexed from a 1 o'clock start to a 8:30 start. Primetime football. Great opportunity to showcase the talent that we have here in Philadelphia. There's only one problem. There's a very good chance that the game is going to mean absolutely nothing. So I can't even really hype up, you know, the Eagles here and do trash talking to Chicago, because boy, things were setting up to have a really big throwdown here. Chicago hooked us up a couple weeks ago by beating Dallas. We hooked Chicago up a couple weeks ago by beating Detroit. It was all a bunch of big of thank you, now fuck you time. Boom! Ready to meet on Sunday Night Football. But if the Dallas Cowboys beat the Washington Redskins, which is probably what's going to happen, this Sunday night game means nothing for Philadelphia. It means absolutely nothing. It doesn't matter if Philadelphia wins or loses. The division is going to be decided that next week in Dallas. So you got to wonder, and frankly, this is what should happen. If Dallas wins, Dallas beats the Redskins, the starters should be benched for Philadelphia. The starters should be benched. I know people are going to be out there saying, oh, no, you should play competitively to win every game. I'm sorry, but fuck that. I'd rather see my team win the division and get into the playoffs than win a game against Chicago that means nothing. Like, no disrespect, Chicago, or anything like that, and I'm not trying to say, like, you're not a worthy opponent or anything like that, but if the only thing that matters is what you do in the following week and the outcome of the week before means nothing, why would you start your starters? Why? I'd rather go into Dallas with a better chance to win. Now ask yourselves this in Philadelphia or any fans of the Eagles, what would give you a better chance to win the division in Dallas the following week? Would it be to have your players playing a drag-down, potentially grueling game against a very equal opponent in Chicago? Or would it be better to give them a week worth of extra rest, let guys heal up a little more, and then go into the next week? I think letting them rest up a little bit more would increase your chances to win, in all honesty. But that's just me. I mean, I don't know what Chip Kelly's going to do. We don't know. Chip Kelly's never been in this situation before because he's never coached in the pros this far into a season before. Never coached in the pros before at all. So, I mean, I can't even decide to trash talk because it's like, oh, fuck you, Chicago, we're going to beat you, we're going to kick your ass. And if Chicago kicks our ass and it's the B team on the field, it's like, so the fuck what? So what? It kind of makes me wish that this game wasn't flexed. It really does. Because if both Dallas and Philadelphia started their games at 1 o'clock, this wouldn't be an issue. You'd have to start the starters no matter what because you wouldn't be able to tell what Dallas was going to do at the same time. I know a lot of people in Philadelphia are like, oh, this is good because if Dallas loses, then the Eagles know they can win the division on Sunday night. Which, if that's the case, oh, if Dallas loses, then that game means something. Because the division can be decided by beating the Bears, and then that is when I want to see everyone go balls to the wall, have an exciting throwdown game with Chicago, and I'm all there. But then that means the next week against Dallas means nothing. So I'm kind of fucked either way. I mean, I'm going to see a shitty game Sunday night, or I'm going to see a shitty game next week against Dallas. Like, I've been looking forward to this fucking clash with Dallas. I mean, go back into my videos since week 9, 10. I was like, oh, the Eagles are warming up. They're keeping pace with the Cowboys. It's going to be a throwdown in week 17, and now has a chance of being absolutely fucking nothing. In Philadelphia, there's the potential of getting fucked out of a good football game either way. Because like I said, if Dallas wins on Sunday, and then that means that Eagles game on Sunday night means nothing against the Bears. If Dallas loses on Sunday, that means that Eagles game on Sunday night means everything. But if Philadelphia loses, then that Dallas game means something in Week 17. I know, I might have you lost in confusion or whatever, but the thing that I'm trying to say is odds are the Eagles are going to be playing a meaningless game either on Sunday or next Sunday, and it kind of takes the wind out of the sails here. Now, is there a chance that both games end up being meaningful? Absolutely. Odds are it's probably not going to be that way, but hey, let's hope for the best, because I'd like to see a good competitive game both on Sunday night and next Sunday in Dallas, or the following Sunday in Dallas. So, I mean, as far as trash talk or anything like that, Chicago, I'm sorry. Again, it's going to be kind of hard to trash talk this game if I know going in that there's a good chance the starters are going to be benched. So, I'm sorry, Chicago. I know you might have been looking forward to me giving you a nice trash talking video here, but can't do it. I can't really do it. Just don't have it. Just don't have it in me to do it. But let's go over what happened last week. I went 11-5, which is amazing considering all the fucking huge upsets that went down in the league. I saw people that went like 3-13 and shit like that with their picks, and fuck, this was a tough week to pick. I'm amazed that I only got 5 games wrong. Of the games I got wrong, I picked Denver to win at home against San Diego. Don't look now, but the San Diego Superchargers are priming to sneak into a wild card spot, but hold the phone because Miami's got something to say about that. We'll get to that in a second. Houston, I picked them to win against Indianapolis. What the fuck was I thinking there? I have no excuse. That was just a terrible fucking pick. I picked Philadelphia to win at Minnesota. We know how that ended up. Minnesota fucking won with a bunch of B-teamers. Jacksonville, I thought they'd have enough to win at home. They fell a touchdown short of beating the Bills. And the last game I got wrong, I picked New Orleans to beat the fucking St. Louis Rams in St. Louis. And I don't know what's more stunning about that outcome is the fact that St. Louis just magically shows up and has this tremendous offensive output, the fucking backup quarterback against good teams, or the fact that the Saints just fall flat. Almost like every third week it seems. They just fall flat and get their dicks kicked in the dirt. Now the one thing about this is usually the Saints rebound after a big loss like this and fucking pummel the next opponent. Kind of like when Seattle kicked the shit out of the Saints on Monday Night Football and they came back the next week and beat the piss out of the Panthers the following week. But yeah, this was a pretty tough week to pick on the games I got wrong, and I know a lot of people laughed at me when I picked Miami beating the New England Patriots, and what do you know, the old Miami Dolphins. A lot of people laughed at me when in the preseason video I picked Miami to get that final wild card spot, and that's looking like a very realistic possibility now. It's looking like it's going to shake down to Miami's favor. But we'll see. That's kind of depending on what Baltimore does in the final 2 weeks here, too. I think Baltimore's going to be the team that slips out of the wild card. But we'll wait and see, guys. As for this week, let's just blast process these like a Sega Genesis. Miami at Buffalo. Now, this is one of the reasons why I think Miami's going to get into the playoffs, because they have a very weak game here in Week 16. I think they're just going to absolutely carve up the fucking Bills at home. Look for Miami to win, and to win pretty easily in this one. Minnesota at Cincinnati. Cincinnati, I don't know what the fuck happened to you on Sunday Night Football, but you let the Steelers just absolutely man-fucking handle you. You weren't even in that game for 1 second. For a team that's leading division to look that piss poor against someone that's not even a playoff hopeful this year, that was just sad. That was just a sad performance. But Cincinnati, then again, this isn't saying much for what I predicted last week. I think you're a good enough team to at least beat the fucking Vikings. Whether Adrian Peterson's back or not, they should still beat them. Indianapolis at Kansas City. I think Kansas City's a fraud team. I'll say it out loud, and it's like, oh, Archie, didn't you see put the 50-plus points up last week? Yeah, I fucking did. I still think they're a fraud. I think that was just a lucky game where everything was fucking clicking for them. Yeah, I said it. Anyways, we'll let the playoffs sort out what a fucking real team Kansas City is, and then we'll see what a fucking joke that squad is. Anyways, Indianapolis winning at Arrowhead. Suck it. Tampa Bay at St. Louis. How can you pick against the Rams for the fucking thrashing they put up on the fucking Saints last week? Look for St. Louis to win at home. Cleveland at the New York Football Non-Giants, a.k.a. the Jets. Look for Cleveland to win. Go Cleveland. Go Brownies. Fuck Joe Banner. Yeah, just look for Cleveland to win. I got nothing to add. I'm fucking tired of pissing on the Jets all season. Dallas at Washington. Well, this is going to determine how what I pick for the decision of this game is going to how I'm mentally going to look forward to Sunday night's game. I know Dallas is still licking their wounds from that epic collapse. They were leading 26-3 at halftime against the Packers, and the Packers came back and fucking won. Dez Bryant walked off the field with a minute left because he had to go to the locker room to cry. Oh, you think the Washington Redskins fans aren't going to rub that in his face when he steps on the field? Oh my God, I can't wait to see all the people making the wah symbol and all that shit when he steps on the field. Oh, it's going to be great. Oh, the Redskin fans are going to just fucking rub that into no end. And they're going to make choke signs to Tony every single time he steps back in the pocket. Okay, I'm done. Now, as for who I think is going to win this game, as we all know, RG3's bench, Cousins is going to be starting. And we have Shanahan now. This is the one thing that just... because Shanahan hates Dan Snyder, the owner of the Redskins. He's basically trying to get fucking fired. It's a coach trying to get fired from his well-paid position that makes millions of dollars. He's trying to get fucking fired from it so he can go coach the Texans or some shit. And basically Snyder's being a stubborn bitch and not firing him, which, frankly, I would probably do the same. I'd let him fucking suffer here on this team. He doesn't like, Shanahan doesn't like RG3, whereas Dan Snyder thinks he's the second coming of Jesus himself. So, you gotta wonder if Shanahan wants to lose this game because Snyder, being the owner of the Redskins, knows what a fucking huge game this is. And this is pretty much all the fucking Redskins have left to play for is to fucking play the Cowboys, beat them, and ruin their chances of even making it in the playoffs. They would fucking love that in Washington. Trust me, even though that team is a fucking horrific pile of flaming tires mess, they would fucking love to make sure the fucking Cowboys don't make it into the playoffs. But Shanahan hates this fucking owner. So you gotta think, would Shanahan, I don't know, maybe do some bad play calling to make sure that fucking Washington doesn't win? Just throwing it out there. And as bad as Dallas is, and I think Washington can beat them, Washington is just a fucking complete mess in comparison. But Dallas fucking choked last week, and it was a fucking choke that I've never seen the likes of before. For a team to have that much talent and choke that bad, you can only put so much blame on how bad the fucking defense is for the Cowboys because, man, the offense let them down in the end of the game. The offense let them down. Not saying the defense didn't let them down. Fucking, they couldn't stop the fucking Packers on offense in the whole second half of the game. So who's going to fucking win this game? The Washington Redskins. Which means, if they win, the Eagles can win the division at home on Sunday night. Now, maybe I'm mentally leaning more towards the Redskins winning because I want to see the Eagles win at home with a chance to win the division and basically have two chances to win the division. Maybe I'm mentally more leaning towards that, and that's why I'm picking the Redskins. I don't know. I guess I just want to see good football on Sunday, but at the same time, I want to see the fucking division on the line for that fucking Cowboys game on week 17, so I'm fucking pissed either way. Washington wins. New Orleans at Carolina. I don't think New Orleans is good enough to beat the Panthers twice, especially in 3 weeks, so look for Carolina to win at home. Tennessee at Jacksonville. Look for Tennessee to win. Jacksonville, you're making a nice little push, and you basically showed us that you are a real deal team and you're not a complete fucking joke. There's nothing to be ashamed of at this point, Jacksonville. The fact that you've strung together a nice little set of wins here, winning 4 in a row, that's very solid. And no one's going to laugh at you this season for at least coming alive and proving that you can compete with some solid teams in this league. So good on you, Houston. Jacksonville. Houston, no one's done laughing at them yet. Good on you, Jacksonville, but I see the Titans getting the better of you here. Speaking of Houston, you got to play the Denver Broncos, and that's the next game on my list. Houston, you are, if the fucking Redskins are a pile of burning car tires that are on fire and burning, that's redundant. Anyway, fucking Houston is like the flaming bag of shit that's under the pile of burning car tires. I mean, that team is just such a fucking mess from top to bottom. I mean, losing guys like Ed Reed because he's like, I didn't fucking sign up for this shit. You guys suck. Fucking cut me. So they cut him, and he goes to the Jets. And yeah, anyway. Fucking terrible. Fucking awful. Look for Houston, though, to pull the upset at home against Denver. Get the fuck out of here. Denver's going to wipe the floor with them. Denver's winning. New York Football Giants at the Detroit Lions. Motherfucker. Detroit. How do you lose 4 out of the last 5 games? You had the fucking NFC North pretty much all but locked up with some soft games on your schedule to hopefully take advantage of it. And fucking shit. Losing 4 out of 5, there's no excuse. Jim Schwartz, you are so fucking fired if this team doesn't make the playoffs. There's absolutely no chance you have of surviving. None. But Detroit's going to win against the Giants because the Giants just fucking suck. Did you see what Seattle did to them last week? Wasn't a fucking minute of that game that was competitive for Seattle. Fucking hell. By the way, I mentioned Seattle in the Giants game in that football video I made yesterday. Those of you who didn't see it, if you wonder why I don't like college football but love the NFL, watch that video I made yesterday. It's probably over there in the sidebar or something. Anyway. Fucking hell, or is it that way? Who cares? Speaking of Seattle, Arizona at Seattle. I may sound like a Seattle hater, but I see Seattle's home streak stopping here. I don't know. I just think there's a little bit of mojo going on with Arizona right now, and they want to try and make a push to get into the playoffs. Granted, they're going to take a miracle at this point. They have to win out these last 2 games and count on a couple other things happening. I just see Arizona winning. I think it's a good defensive matchup on both sides. I see that defense shutting down and not letting Russell Wilson go score happy on them. Arizona's winning in Seattle. Fucking sue me. Pittsburgh at Green Bay. Look for Green Bay to win. Whether Aaron Rodgers is back or not, look for Green Bay to win because right now they're just priming to knock Detroit right off the top of their fucking little NFC North pedestal. And I think Green Bay could actually just run away with this division, end up winning by a game and a half. Fuck yeah. Anyway, Oakland at San Diego. Look for the San Diego Superchargers to charge their way into that final playoff spot and take it away from Baltimore. But unfortunately, New England at Baltimore. I have Baltimore winning at home. Holy shit. Anyways, strange that this was the game that was flexed out of that 8:30 start. It was supposed to be New England at Baltimore, and then it got flexed out of that spot, and Chicago and Philadelphia ended up being there. That's going to suck, though, if, like I said, if Dallas ends up winning, it's going to make Philadelphia's effort, that much more lacking in theory. So it could be potentially a stinker of a game that got flexed into what could be a significantly good game because both Baltimore and New England are fighting for playoff ranking. Baltimore's fighting for a playoff spot. New England's fighting for a playoff ranking as a chance to still lock up a bye. So you think that that's going to be a great game. Anyway, Chicago at Philadelphia. Sunday Night Football. Again, I can't wholeheartedly lean towards the Eagles because if Dallas wins, that fucking game is going to mean nothing for Philadelphia, so you got to think that Chip Kelly's going to pull starters, at least by halftime. So odds are Chicago's going to win this game, so I'm picking Chicago to win. If, however, Washington wins, you know what, fuck it, I'm not giving it either or thing. Chicago's going to win. Atlanta at San Francisco to end the week in the, let's all laugh at the Falcons one last time as they get decimated by a Super Bowl contender. Yeah, that's going to be an ugly fucking game for Atlanta. Look for fucking San Francisco to win that one. So, yep. That wraps up our picks for this week. Again, Chicago, I'd love to talk smack with you, but it's hard to do so because this game could just end up meaning nothing. If this game does mean something, hopefully Shady gets the ball more than 8 fucking times compared to what he did in Minnesota. 8 fucking times the #1 running back in the NFL touched the ball. That is inexcusable. Inexcusable. And hopefully Chip Kelly learns from his mistakes because he better learn from this one because it's going to fuck him over if he tries pulling that shit again. Anyways, let's hope that Week 16 is as exciting as Week 15, and I may or may not do a live show for you guys on Sunday Night Football, especially if that game means something, especially if Washington wins. So, I don't know, stay posted. I'll probably do the live show on YouTube here instead of my whatever fucking video account I have that's in the video description. Fuck it. Anyways, have a good day, everyone, and as always, fuck the Dallas Cowboys. Here's hoping Week 17 means something against the Cowboys and the Eagles, though. Fuck you, though. Have a good day, everyone.